I am Frank Farian. If you want to know the real history of Boney M, please watch Boney M. Back in the 70s, Boney M had everyone dancing to their infectious disco beats. They seemed like incredible entertainers. With over 159 million albums sold worldwide since their debut, and most of the profits going to Farian Boney M, was a huge success both in their home country and internationally. But behind their chart-topping hits lay a shocking secret. How did they manage to keep this hidden from fans for so long? Let's dive into the story and uncover the truth. How did it begin? It all started in December 1974, when German singer and songwriter Frank Farian recorded a dance track called "Baby Do You Wanna Bump." At that time, Farian was known for his work in the Schlager genre, a style of European music focused on romantic and emotional themes. Despite producing his own songs and releasing them through the Hansa label, Farian had yet to achieve significant success with Schlager. Seeking a change, Farian ventured into the world of disco with this new track, which was a dramatic shift from his previous work. The Hansa label was so impressed with the track that they decided it had to be released. However, Farian was hesitant to release it under his own name due to his established Schlager career, fearing it might confuse or alienate his existing audience. Instead, he decided to use a pseudonym for this new musical venture. In early 1975, the single was released under the name Boney M, a name Farian crafted after watching an Australian detective series called Boney on German TV. The show's main character, Napoleon Bonaparte, inspired the name Boney M. Frank Farian didn't expect much from his disco experiment, "Baby Do You Wanna Bump?" To his surprise, the track quickly caught on, becoming a hit. By late 1975, it had made its way onto the Dutch charts, prompting a request from a Dutch TV station for a live performance. However, Farian faced a dilemma. Due to his established Schlager image, he couldn't appear on TV as Boney M, so he decided to form a band to represent the project. In early 1976, Farian assembled a group of talented singers, Marcia Barrett and Claudia Berry from Jamaica, Maisie Williams from Montserrat, and Bobby Farrell from Aruba. Before they could record new material, Claudia Berry left to pursue a solo career. This left the remaining trio, Maisie, Marcia, and Bobby, to continue promoting the single. Farian soon found a new addition, Liz Mitchell from Jamaica, to complete the lineup. With the new configuration, Boney M was finally ready to step into the spotlight and make its mark on the music scene. "Take the Heat Off Me" and international success. Boney M's debut album, "Take the Heat Off Me," was released in 1976. This album featured tracks that Marcia Barrett had previously recorded with Frank Farian, including the title track and "Lovin' or Leavin'," which had been recorded in German by another Farian act, Gila. Because Maisie Williams' voice was deemed unsuitable for recording by Farian, and an attempt with Bobby Farrell performing "No Woman, No Cry" was unsuccessful. Farian decided to rely on Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett's vocals, combined with his own studio-enhanced voice, to create the signature Boney M sound. Initially, the album's commercial performance was tepid. Despite this, the group worked tirelessly, touring discos, clubs, and country fairs to build their reputation. Their breakthrough came in late summer 1976, when West German television producer Michael "Mike" Lekebusch from Radio Bremen invited them to appear on his show Musikladen. On September 18, 1976, Boney M performed Daddy Cool on the show, dressed in their striking stage costumes. The performance was a turning point. Daddy Cool soared to #1 in West Germany, and the success of the single boosted the album's sales. Their cover of Bobby Hebb's 1966 hit, Sunny, also topped the charts, giving Boney M a second #1 hit. The group's popularity spread across Europe, with Daddy Cool reaching #1 in Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Spain, France, and Austria, and both singles hitting the UK top 10. In 1977, Boney M released their second album, Love for Sale. This album featured popular tracks like Ma Baker and Belfast. To support the album, Boney M embarked on their first major concert tour with a live band, the Black Beauty Circus, named after Maisie Williams' earlier band, Black Beautiful People. Love for Sale achieved gold status in the UK within a year of its release, and both singles from the album climbed to #1 in West Germany and the UK top 10. 1978 marked the peak of Boney M's success, establishing them as one of the biggest acts of the year. They released a groundbreaking double A-sided single, Rivers of Babylon Brown Girl in the Ring, which became a massive hit across Europe. The single topped the charts in several countries and achieved status as one of the UK's best-selling singles of all time. In the United States, it also made a notable impact, reaching #30 on the pop singles chart. The same year, Boney M released their most successful album, Night Flight to Venus. The album featured hit singles like Rasputin and Painter Man, further solidifying their dominance in the music industry. Another major achievement came with their Christmas single, Mary's Boy Child, Oh My Lord. This track became the 1978 Christmas #1 in the United Kingdom and joined the ranks of the UK's biggest-selling singles of all time. Additionally, Boney M made a highly publicized promotional visit to the Soviet Union, making them one of the rare Western acts to do so alongside Elton John. However, due to the controversial subject matter of some of their songs, such as Rasputin, not all tracks were released in the Soviet Union. Despite widespread knowledge that Bobby Farrell did not sing on the group's studio recordings, Frank Farian handled the male vocals. 1978 saw the revelation that Maisie Williams also did not contribute to the studio vocals. Farian admitted in an interview with the German teen magazine Bravo that Williams' voice was not suited for the music, a common practice in the disco genre at the time. This practice did not attract much controversy then, though it would later lead to significant backlash with Milli Vanilli in the late 1980s. Although only 2 of Boney M's official members contributed to the studio recordings, all 4 members, including Williams and Farrell, performed live at Boney M concerts. Their live performances were also supported by backing vocalists to match the polished studio sound. In 1979, Boney M released a new single, Hooray Hooray. It's a Holy Holiday, which became another top 10 hit across Europe. Later that year, they followed up with their 4th album, Oceans of Fantasy. The album included hit singles such as Gotta Go Home, El Lute, and I'm Born Again, Bahama Mama. For the first time, the album credited lead and backing vocals. Oceans of Fantasy reached #1 in the UK and was certified platinum. However, by this point, their streak of top 10 singles had ended with Gotta Go Home peaking at number 12 and I'm Born Again reaching number 35. The Magic of Boney M, Departure of Farrell, and Split. In 1980, Boney M released a compilation album titled The Magic of Boney M, 20 Golden Hits. This collection not only featured their greatest hits, but also included 2 new tracks, My Friend Jack and I See a Boat on the River. The album quickly soared to the #1 spot in the UK and achieved gold status within just 6 weeks of its release. Despite this success, it turned out to be their last major selling album in the UK. The group's 5th album was initially scheduled for release in November 1980. However, recording delays extended into 1981, and by the time Boonoo New News was finally released at the end of the year, Bobby Farrell had departed from the group due to disagreements with Frank Farian. While Boonoo New News still performed well in continental Europe, it failed to make an impact on the UK Top 100, ending their streak of 3 consecutive #1 albums. The absence of Farrell hampered their ability to promote the album effectively. In late 1981, the group released a Christmas album hoping to capitalize on the holiday season's market. Meanwhile, in 1982, Boney M's song Rasputin gained unexpected fame in Vietnam, where it was played during the waiting periods of the 1982 FIFA World Cup. This exposure led to a lasting popularity of the band in Vietnam for years to come. To fill the void left by Farrell Regit Sibo was brought on as the new male member of Boney M in 1982. However, the singles The Carnival Is Over and Jumbo did not perform well commercially. The group's 7th album, 10,000 Light Years, released in 1984, was another low point, reaching only number 23 on the German album charts. Despite this, Boney M saw a brief resurgence in the autumn of 1984, with the release of Kalimba de Luna and Happy Song. Kalimba de Luna was a top 10 hit in France, and Happy Song was a cover of an Italian Italo disco track by Baby's Gang. Bobby Farrell rejoined the group for these singles, which were essentially reworkings of original Italian hits by Tony Esposito and Baby's Gang. By 1985, Farrell's enthusiasm for the group waned. Their 8th and final studio album, I Dance, was widely criticized for its lackluster quality and failure to capture the essence of their earlier successes. After celebrating Boney M's 10th anniversary in early 1986, the group disbanded following the release of the single Young, Free and Single, which peaked at a disappointing number 48 on the charts. Following a decade of global acclaim and unforgettable hits, Boney M officially disbanded. Over the course of their career, they captivated audiences worldwide with their infectious music and memorable performances, failed reunions, and public interest. Following the official disbandment of Boney M, various factions emerged, some continuing with Frank Farian's collaboration, and others operating independently under the Boney M name. In early 1987, one version of the group began touring with Marilyn Sharby Carrillo, replacing Liz Mitchell. Mitchell rejoined the tour for its 2nd leg later that year, but Marsha Barrett departed from the band. During this period, Bobby Farrell attempted to orchestrate a new Boney M album recording in Belgium without Farian's involvement. However, Farrell's absence from both recording sessions and tours, combined with Maisie Williams's lack of recording experience, led to the album's release as Liz Mitchell's solo debut, No One Will Force You. Mitchell and Williams, along with new recruits, Selena Duncan and Ron Gale, completed a tour between 1987 and 1988, with Carol Gray later replacing Duncan and Kurt Dodderen taking over for Gale. In October 1988, the original Boney M lineup minus Farian reunited to produce Greatest Hits of All Times Remix 88. Despite this attempt to revive the classic Boney M sound, tensions among the members were high, leading to Liz Mitchell's departure in the spring of 1989. She was replaced by Milena Davis. While Mitchell focused on her solo career, the reformed group recorded the single Everybody Wants to Dance Like Josephine Baker without Farian's consent. Farian responded with a legal threat over the unauthorized use of the Boney M name, resulting in the single's withdrawal. Farian then launched his own new iteration of Boney M, featuring Liz Mitchell, Reggie Sebo, and newcomers Sharon Stevens and Patty Onoyewenjo. This lineup released Stories, which achieved moderate success, peaking at number 11 on the Swiss charts. A second remix album, Greatest Hits of All Times Remix, 89. Volume 2 was released, but did not perform well commercially. In 1992, Boney M experienced a resurgence in popularity with the release of the Boney M Megamix single, which marked the group's return to the UK top 10 for the first time since 1980. This renewed interest was further bolstered by a greatest hits album that reached the top 20 in '93. During this period, Boney M embarked on an international tour featuring Liz Mitchell, Carol Gray, Patricia Lorna Foster, and Kurt D. Doran, who was replaced by Tony Ashcroft in 1994. Despite their efforts, their single Papa Chico did not achieve significant chart success. Boney M singer reveals real reason 70s band split up. In an exclusive interview with Starts at 60, Maisie Williams finally shed light on the internal struggles that led to the group's separation. She admitted that the band never fully recovered after Bobby Farrell's abrupt departure in 1981, which marked the beginning of their decline. According to Williams, Farrell's exit was the catalyst that shattered the group's once close bond. Yes, most of that is quite true, Williams said when asked about whether the group's breakdown was due to internal disputes. There were a lot of disagreements and different opinions. Everyone had their own issues, whatever they were. Tensions had been building for some time, but when Farrell, who was known for his flamboyant onstage presence, decided to leave the group, the fallout was devastating. Bobby left the group due to issues with loyalty to the record company and/or producer, and there was a major fallout there, Williams explained. When Bobby left, the group collapsed somewhat, not a little. The group did collapse, but he did what he had to do. Maisie Williams, reflecting on the turbulent times after Boney M's original lineup began to unravel, shared how the group struggled to carry on following Bobby Farrell's departure in 1981. "We tried to continue with another guy," she recalled, "but that didn't work out too well because Bobby had to end up coming back. Bobby was the man." The attempts to replace Farrell were short-lived, and Williams acknowledged that internal squabbles within the band, coupled with ongoing issues with their producer, Frank Farian, ultimately led to the group's disintegration. "It was just internal little squabbles, along with problems with our producer. and that brought everything to a closure, really. Despite the fallout within Boney M, both Liz Mitchell and Maisie Williams went on to form their own versions of the group, performing under the same iconic name. While the female members eventually drifted apart, Williams maintained a close bond with Farrell right up until his untimely death from heart failure in 2010. "Bobby and I were always in touch. We were quite good friends," she said. "From the day the group started to the day Bobby died, we were close. He was my good friend colleague, and I'm very honored to have had the chance to perform with someone who was as special as Bobby. I miss him. I miss him. I will always miss him." The history of Boney M hasn't been without heartache beyond the group's musical journey. Marcia Barrett, another key member, faced a harrowing battle with cancer in the early 1990s. Diagnosed with ovarian cancer, Barrett fought through treatment only to be diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years later. Marcia had a really hard time with cancer, Williams revealed. She was fighting it for quite a while. "The last time I saw her was at Bobby's funeral. We've spoken on the phone since then, and she told me she wasn't doing too badly. She's still here today with us, and that's a good sign." Despite staying in touch with Barrett occasionally, Williams admitted that she and her former bandmates have drifted apart over the years. "Everyone has gone in their own direction here, there, and everywhere. According to hearsay, I know they're fine and doing well." As Williams continues to shine in the spotlight, she's preparing for another exciting chapter in her career, returning to Australia in October with her group Boney M feat. Maisie Williams. The group will perform some of the original lineup's biggest hits, such as Daddy Cool Rivers of Babylon and Ma Baker, alongside new material. While she's excited about her current lineup, Williams fondly reminisces about her time with the original members of Boney M. "We achieved it together and grew together. We became a family on and off stage," she said. "You rate each other and know what the other will do next when you're performing. I do miss them. My lineup now are really nice guys, and I'm really pleased to have them. But I do miss my original colleagues, of course." Reflecting on the dynamics of being in a band, Williams explained, "When you're with a band, it's a company, a union. It's not easy because there are always issues. Everyone has their own characters, so things will kick off sometimes. It even happens with your siblings. But you can separate yourself from a band, whereas you can't from your sibling." Despite the challenges, Williams' journey with Boney M remains a treasured part of her life, and her ongoing musical endeavors continue to keep the group's legacy alive. Now, let's take a closer look at the original members of Boney M and discover some intriguing details about each of them. Bobby Farrell, Roberto, Alfonso. Farrell, born on October 6, 1949, in Aruba, was a multi-talented dancer, singer, and DJ. Known for his striking stage presence, Farrell was the sole male performer in Boney M. Despite his prominent role, it was widely known that his voice was not featured in the group's recorded songs. Instead, Frank Farian, the mastermind behind Boney M, provided the male vocals, while Farrell's role was limited to stage performances where he mimed the lyrics. Farian's first venture into the disco scene with Baby Do You Wanna Bump was initially tested with the group's singers. However, Maisie Williams' voice was deemed unsuitable for recording by Farian, and a trial performance of Bobby Farrell singing No Woman, No Cry also fell short. As a result, Farian opted to rely on Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett's voices, complemented by his own studio-enhanced vocals, to shape the distinct Boney M sound. Farian, who was a white German, believed he was not the right fit for the stage, especially given the band's fusion of West Indian American and African musical influences. This decision ensured that Farrell, with his charismatic yet theatrical stage persona, became the face of Boney M during their live performances, despite not contributing vocally to their recordings. After Boney M disbanded in 1986, Bobby Farrell continued to keep the group's legacy alive under the name Bobby Farrell of Boney M. He embarked on a series of tours bringing the iconic hits of the group to audiences around the world. His performances took him across the United States, Colombia, Turkey, Finland, and Slovakia. Farrell was also preparing to release a new album and tour Italy in the spring of 2011. However, on December 30th, 2010, tragedy struck when he passed away in his hotel room in St. Petersburg, Russia, due to heart failure. This date was notably significant, as it coincided with the anniversary of the death of Rasputin, a figure featured in one of Boney M's most famous songs. Farrell had even dressed as Rasputin during some of his live performances. He was laid to rest at Zorgvliet Cemetery in Amsterdam, marking the end of a remarkable journey for the performer who had left an indelible mark on the music world. Liz Mitchell. Elizabeth Rebecca Mitchell, born on July 12, 1952, is a Jamaican-British singer renowned for her role as one of the lead vocalists in Boney M. With a deep passion for music, Liz Mitchell's commitment to her craft went far beyond mere financial gain. It was driven by an intense love for the art form. As a primary force behind Boney M's success, she was pivotal in shaping the group's distinctive sound. Despite her significant contributions, Liz had some reservations about how the group was managed. She expressed frustration over not receiving proper credit for her vocal performances, particularly in the song Rivers of Babylon, where she felt her voice and Marsha Barrett's was overshadowed. Her vocal prowess was clear, especially in contrast to Bobby Farrell, whose role was more about performance than singing. Following Boney M's disbandment in 1986, Mitchell, along with fellow members Bobby Farrell and Maisie Williams, was encouraged by Farrell to regroup for a tour in 1987. They also had a recording contract lined up. However, the reunion faced setbacks when Farrell and the replacement singer failed to appear for rehearsals. This left Mitchell and Williams in a challenging position. To salvage the tour, they brought in singer Selena Duncan and dancer Kurt D. Daron. Given that Williams had never sung on Boney M's recordings and would present a different vocal style, Mitchell ended up recording the planned album largely on her own. This project resulted in Liz Mitchell's debut solo album, No One Will Force You. Despite the challenges of securing a label, the album was eventually released in Spain in the autumn of 1988. In the wake of Boney M's disbandment in 1986, Frank Farian sought to rekindle the group's success with another collaboration. He approached Liz Mitchell, who was initially reluctant, but agreed to participate. Farian had enlisted Simon Napier Bell to produce a remix album of Boney M's greatest hits, and he wanted the original lineup to promote it. Liz Mitchell, despite her strong commitment to her solo career, joined the original members in making appearances on German and Dutch television to support the project. Although Mitchell was eager to focus on her solo endeavors, The remix album, which saw a release in France and the Netherlands in 1989, reinvigorated interest in Boney M. Farian, having already replaced her with Milena Davis, invited Mitchell back for a second remix album. Her participation played a pivotal role in the success of Boney M. Gold 20 super hits. Farian allowed her to promote the album under the name Boney M, featuring Liz Mitchell, which further boosted her career. After dedicating 3 years to the production of her solo work, Mitchell released her album Share the World in November 1999. As of now, Liz Mitchell is a born-again Christian who focuses on inspirational and Christian music. She continues to tour under the name Boney M, featuring Liz Mitchell. Marsha Barrett. Marsha Barrett, born on March 14, 1948, was a key vocalist in Boney M, sharing the spotlight with Liz Mitchell. When Claudia Berry departed in early 1976, Barrett played a crucial role in recommending Liz Mitchell, a fellow Jamaican, as her replacement. Despite their initial success, Barrett was not involved in any Boney M projects or recordings in the decades that followed. Barrett continued her musical journey independently, recording rock tracks in Munich until 1990. That year, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, which significantly impacted her ability to continue recording. Despite this setback, Barrett's resilience shone through as she began working with producer Scott Christina in 1997. Their collaboration led to the release of Survival in November 1999, an album featuring dance tracks that showcased Barrett's enduring talent. In 2005, Barrett released her second album, Come Into My Life. This album included a cover of Hey Joe, a new rendition of Belfast, and original songs penned by Barrett and her husband Marcus. She also toured with her own version of Boney M and attended the London and Berlin premieres of the Daddy Cool musical. In 2009, Barrett ventured into the music business further by starting her own label. However, her plans were interrupted by a return of cancer, forcing her to take a break from the industry. Today, Barrett lives in Berlin with her husband, Marcus James, a guitarist with Eddie Grant's band, whom she married in 1984. Maisie Williams. Maisie Williams, born on March 25, 1951, is a British model dancer and singer who was an integral part of Boney M from its inception. Despite her significant role in the group's live performances, producer Frank Farian did not include her in the studio recordings, believing that her voice did not fit the style of music they were producing. When Boney M disbanded, Williams seized the opportunity to step into the spotlight with her own version of the group named Boney M, featuring Maisie Williams. This new lineup included Sheila Bonk, who was part of the short-lived original 1975 formation. This version of Boney M allowed Williams to take center stage as the lead singer, and she performed renditions of the group's classic hits, such as Brown Girl in the Ring, Hooray, Hooray, It's a Holiday, Sunny, and Daddy Cool. In 2009, Maisie Williams took legal action against Boney M's producer, Frank Farian, and Sony Music, seeking her rights to perform under the Boney M name. Farian had been actively promoting Liz Mitchell's version of Boney M as the authentic continuation of the group. During the court proceedings, it was revealed that Williams had never actually sung on any of the original Boney M recordings, a fact that was both surprising and pivotal. The court ruled in Williams' favor, mandating that Farian account for all past and future record sales, and compensate her accordingly. This landmark decision validated Williams' contributions and rights. Since then, Maisie Williams has continued to tour internationally and record her own music. Her voice, which had been overlooked in the past, is now being appreciated and celebrated by audiences worldwide. The truth behind Boney M. Boney M was a dominant force in the music industry during their heyday, captivating audiences with their infectious beats and glamorous performances. However, beneath the surface of their success lay a web of tensions, deceptions, and legal disputes. While the public continued to believe in the group's unity, the reality was far more complex. As the band members ventured into solo careers, the true nature of their dynamics began to surface. Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett voiced their frustration over not receiving proper credit for their significant roles as lead singers and vocalists. Despite their central contributions, their names were overshadowed in the credits of the group's recordings. Conversely, Bobby Farrell and Maisie Williams faced their own grievances. Farrell, despite being the group's only male performer, was relegated to miming and dancing rather than singing on the tracks. Williams, too, was left on the sidelines as Farian decided her voice was not suitable for the recordings. Both felt marginalized, their talents unrecognized in the context of Boney M's success. After Boney M's official disbandment, several groups emerged under the Boney M name, sparking a series of conflicts and legal battles. In October 1988, Frank Farian attempted a reunion with the classic Boney M lineup for a remix album titled Greatest Hits of All Times, produced by Simon Napier Bell and released as Remix 88. Despite the excitement around the reunion, the collaboration was short-lived due to escalating tensions among the members. Liz Mitchell, one of the group's original lead singers, departed in the spring of 1989, and Milena Davis replaced her. While Mitchell focused on promoting her solo album, the remaining members recorded a single titled Everybody Wants to Dance Like Josephine Baker without Farian's consent. This unauthorized use of the Boney M name led to a legal dispute, resulting in Farian demanding the withdrawal of the single due to its illegal association with the Boney M brand. Since the late 1980s, the legal rights to the Boney M name have been a contentious issue among the former band members. Farian has continued to work closely with Liz Mitchell and her iteration of Boney M, but has been vocal in his disapproval of other lineups formed by the remaining members. Beyond these disputes, further revelations about Frank Farian and his controversial practices will be explored soon. Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli was a German R&B music act from Munich introduced to the world by Boney M's producer Frank Farian in 1988. The duo, consisting of Fab Morvan and Rob Pilatus, was marketed as the face of the group, but the real vocal talent behind their recordings was not them. Instead, studio singers Brad Howell and John Davis, along with others like Charles Shaw, Jode Rocco, and Linda Rocco, provided the actual vocals. Their debut album, All or Nothing, marked the start of a series of successful releases. Milli Vanilli quickly became one of the most popular pop acts of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Selling millions of records and gaining international acclaim. Their success peaked with a Grammy Award for Best New Artist on February 21, 1990. After Frank Farian fired Fab Morvan and Rob Pilatus from Milli Vanilli, he publicly admitted that they had not sung on the group's records. The revelation came after intense scrutiny from the media. During an interview with Chuck Phillips of the Los Angeles Times, Pilatus confirmed the deception with a poignant statement. "It's true, Milli Vanilli didn't sing, expressing his frustration with 'I feel like a mosquito being squeezed.'" Pilatus described the last 2 years as a total nightmare characterized by constant deceit and a lack of creative freedom, as Farian had prevented them from showcasing their true vocal talents. The fallout from this scandal was swift and severe. The group was engulfed in feuds, lawsuits, and widespread negative press, which tarnished their reputation and career. Despite their initial success and acclaim, including winning a Grammy Award for Best New Artist, the exposure of their lip-syncing practice led to a dramatic collapse in their public image. Frank Farian, the mastermind behind Milli Vanilli, and other successful acts, passed away in January 2024 at the age of 82. In tribute to his influential career and controversial legacy, a farewell tour is planned for June and July 2024 in Australia. Farian's impact on the music industry, marked by his orchestration of one of its most notorious deceptions, remains a significant chapter in the history of pop music.